Welcome to episode 1 of the REAPERDOC Track Creator Challenge. This is a challenge where I'm going to pitch the best track creators in MX bikes against each other with some crazy time constraints. In this episode, you're going to be watching the 24-hour challenge. That means everything that you see these guys created in 24 hours. And I mean 24 hours real time, not 24 hours worked on the track. I made sure down to the minute that these guys submitted their track within 24 hours. Now, a couple things. Every track creator is going to have the same exact layout to follow, and that was just to help them focus on creativity and flow and visual. They didn't have to come up with the layout itself. This is the layout that they all followed. It's a mess, and I did that on purpose because I like to watch people squirm. Okay, it is what it is. I got together with some sponsors to put some incredible prizing together for these track creators to incentivize them to not sleep and have a terrible time. Prizes are going to be provided by Peanut Customs, which is this incredible LED front number plate. I love them so much, and we're going to be giving some of those out to these creators. Some other prizing is going to be some sets of gear that I will provide for them. And for the 1 week challenge, the track creator with the best overall track is going to win an RTR light electric pit bike provided by Electro and company themselves, and I could not be more excited. These pit bikes are so sick, they're so fast, and I've been seeing them everywhere all over social media, and I could not be more stoked that they're putting one of these bikes up for the track creators. If you guys are interested in either the Peanut Customs number plates or that super sick pit bike, make sure you guys check them out. They'll be the first 2 links down in the description. And please check them out. They've done a lot for this channel and it means a lot to me. So if you're interested in either of those, check them out. Now, without further ado, let's move into track number 1 of 9. Oh, actually, hold on. Before we move forward with the video, all of these tracks are free right now on mods. Just saying. Welcome to track number 1, a track created by Cool Whip set in this incredible little castle environment, medieval. This is something I don't think I've ever seen done in MX bikes, and this was the very first track that I loaded in to see the 24-hour experience, and loading into the center of a castle was not at all what I expected, but I actually appreciated it a lot. Now, getting down to the track itself, instantly I was feeling very good on this track, very flowy. Everything seems to work now. I will say it is a very simple track, but at the end of the day, it's fun, and this is definitely something that I could see, seeing in public servers and people just absolutely ripping and having a good time on. As a hot lap degenerate, this is definitely a track I could see myself spinning like hundreds of laps trying to get the absolute perfect lap down. Now, Cool Whip's challenge was to incorporate a metal ramp, and as you could see, he did that. These challenges are going to be basically pass or fail. It's not going to be, I'm not going to rate this out of 10 because either he put the metal ramp or he didn't, you know what I mean? Now, I will say, if say the ramp doesn't work or it gives me a lot of problems, I might give him a half score, but in this case, the ramp was amazing and it worked really well, so he's gonna get a perfect score on that. I'm gonna throw up on screen his individual scores per category, and we're gonna save the overall till the end, so keep you guys in suspense, if you will. I gotta say, I love this track from Cool Whip. It's creative, it's fun, it's flowy, it's fast, and it's just sick, all right? So let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Hen's track, and coming off of Cool Whip's track, there's clearly a big difference here, and at first I was a little disappointed until I remembered this is his very first track ever. I don't know what psychopath decides to do his very first track ever and do it in a 24-hour challenge, but my boy did. And once you take that into consideration, this track is actually really good and really fun. Now, it's just a kind of basic supercross track with some pretty challenging sections throughout. The scaling and just kind of overall build of the jumps makes this a lot more challenging than it may seem, but for 24 hours in his first track, not gonna lie, it's kind of a banger, and I'm really proud of what he did. It's a really good track. All right, next up, we're jumping into an enduro track created by Price, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a track that was so good we had to make sure, I had to go back and check to make sure it was following the layout, because I was like, there's no way he did this in 24 hours. Maybe he had this track pre-made and just put it in the 24-hour challenge. But in fact, this track follows the layout pretty much to a T, and there's really no way he could have cheated this whatsoever. It's just that good. If you guys like enduro and have been following his enduro tracks, this is going to be very similar, and that's not a bad thing. It feels great. There's a lot of cool different lines you can do. It's pretty flowy for an enduro track, and it's just fun. His challenge was also a metal ramp. A lot of these guys got metal ramp. I spun a wheel, it was random, I'm sorry. And you know, he executed it perfectly. The metal ramp is awesome, it's fun. This is a great track. And look, dude, he's got a waterfall. 24 hours, but he put a waterfall in. I don't know. I was super impressed. We were having so much fun ripping laps. Honestly, I saw Aiden hot lapping enduro. Is that what we've come to in MX bikes? Are we hot lapping enduro now? Anyway, here's the scores. Let's move on to the next one. This is a banger. You should download it for sure. All right, welcome to Callum. I don't know. I've known this guy for like 4 years, and I'm just homeschooled. I can't remember how to say his name. I think it's Callum because he's from the EU area. This track is called Willow Tap. Okay, not Willow Top, because his challenge was a wheel tap jump, and Buddy took that to heart. There's not one, there's not two, not three, there could be 4 potential wheel tap jumps on this track. The first time I played through this track, I kind of felt like it was just a simple motocross track that didn't offer a ton with a couple wheel tap jumps. Then, through my second playthrough, I gotta be honest, this track really came to life for me. Part of that could have been because I'm kind of bad at the game now, and it took me a while to get good, because this track's definitely not easy. It's not hard by any means, but I'm bad, so you know what I mean. But after I put some time in and just kind of settled down and played the track, this is one of the most creative and flowy tracks that, not that I've seen in this 24-hour challenge, but that we've got in a long time, especially for free. And I love it. This is one of my highest rated tracks in the flowy category, and I think he absolutely nailed it. Plus the wheel tap jumps are just fun, and it's cool, it's different. I think he executed the challenge perfectly and really just took it to heart, and I appreciate that a lot. Okay, this track is created by Cyanide, and if you like going 5th gear wide open, just absolutely wicked everywhere, this is your track, let me tell you. It's like he took a motocross track and then took the scaling and said 10x. Okay, the track's about 900 feet wide and the jumps are about 900 feet long. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. The track's wide, the jumps are huge. It's literally 4th gear, 5th gear, almost the entire track. It's fun, it's wide open. It's kind of challenging because it is so fast, and then he does have these really rough and like narrow and tall ruts in some of the corners that make you kind of have to slow down and use your brain. Unfortunately for me, my brain doesn't really work very well, so I don't use it very well. This is another track that I think you would typically see on MXB mods, and it's a good track probably for pubs and just to rip around with your friends. If you, again, like I said, if you like sending it, this is the track for you. His challenge was a tunnel section, and I really wasn't sure how these guys were going to interpret these challenges because I didn't elaborate on them. I just literally screenshot whatever the wheel said, and it was tunnel section. I didn't know if Buddy was gonna burrow, or in this case, he was gonna take a cave and cut a hole in it. And as you'll see coming up in a video, they did something totally different with a tunnel, but I love it. I love the way that he executed the challenge. It was great. And here's the scores. And dude, well done. Again, get the 500s out, okay? Because we're going wide open on this track. Next up, we have a track created by the legendary pub track creator, King MX. And honestly, when I booted this track up, I didn't even have to look who made it. I knew exactly who made it based off of just the way it looked. And as soon as I wrote it, I knew it was a King track. Now, King has been doing this thing on his tracks lately where he's been experimenting with a more challenging factor on his tracks. If you go back to some of King's old tracks, you know, like Countryside, they're basically smooth and just built for flowy. That is not the case on this track, and I gotta say, it's really fun. Now, this track is hard, and it's harder to get into a flow than some of his other ones that he spends a ton of time on. But again, guys, he made this track in 24 hours. It makes sense. And when you do find that flow, it's flowy, okay? Let me tell you. Also, as you can see, his challenge was also a tunnel jump, and Buddy put a container in the sky that we jumped through, and it works perfectly. I'm always nervous about when people do things like that, you know, the collisions are gonna be weird and it's just gonna be like not work properly, because MX Bikes is a great game. It's finished. There's no issues with it at all. But in this case, it's perfect. It works pretty much every single time. I've never had any issues going through it. The track is challenging. It's fun. And I definitely think this is going to be a pub lobby banger per usual. And I don't know if I said this already, but all of the track creators are able to update their timing and scoring for these tracks. They weren't able to do that going into the challenge, but once they submitted the track to me, I let them fix timing and scoring, but nothing else. So all these tracks should be raceable. Next up, we have hands down the best named track in this series. It's called Tour de Tilapia by Panda Vroom. Okay, now his challenge was an underwater section, and what I was thinking in my brain when I did this was the typical MX Bikes underwater section, right, where they would put like a 2D image of water and then the track would go underneath it. It wouldn't look any different whatsoever, but Buddy made an entire tunnel and then put a texture on it to make it look like you're in the Emerald Sea. You know what I'm saying? Kudos for the creativity and not just doing the cop out of a 2D image. I kind of made that part of the challenge because I thought it would be easy, and these were all supposed to be relatively easy challenges because it's 24 hours. But hey, he went like beyond the extra mile and made a whole Tour de Tilapia, if you know what I'm saying. Overall, the track is really fun and flowy. I think the one thing that I've noticed across the board, even on the tracks that score really, really high, is that what you miss in 24 hours is time to perfect things like scaling on your track. A lot of these tracks felt that some jumps were too big, where I couldn't get over them at all on a 450, or I really had to try. And then other jumps were just so small, it just didn't make sense. And I feel like that's just a part of the 24-hour experience, because that stuff takes a lot of time. And when you're just cranking something out, that's not where you're going to spend your time, especially when they're trying to make it as visually appealing as possible. But there was a flowy aspect. So it was cool to see some of the guys kind of focus on flow, some of them kind of focus on visual. It's just cool to see how everyone's brain works. Anyway, here's Tour de Tilapia's score, and let's move on to the final two. Next up, we have a track that I literally, again, had to make sure there was no sussy-wussiness going on, because this track was so good and so full and felt so complete. Surely there was no way Buddy did this in 24 hours. However, I can confirm Kiwin not only streamed this build and sent that to me, but I'm pretty sure Buddy didn't sleep whatsoever. And the layout is exactly correct. This is, of course, as I mentioned, Kiwin's track, Kiwin's entry to the 24-hour challenge. And I have to say, it's a Kiwin track. It's a Fuela track. It feels like a Fuela track. It's hard. It's beautiful. It flows well. It's got ruts. It's got bumps. It's challenging. I already said that, but I'm going to say it again because it is challenging. Again, could be because I'm bad at the game. It's good, man. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to lie. The scaling and his flow was slightly better. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm just saying if he spent a little bit more time on perfecting jump sizes and flowing, he could have released this on the shop and we all would have thought it would have taken him 3 months. It's insane. It's so good. Here's Kiwin's score, a very high score and much deserved. And there's only one other track that could possibly dethrone Kiwin, and that's Rube's track coming up next. Well, boys, here is Rube's just creative masterpiece. Okay, listen, when I loaded into this track for the first time, I don't think I stopped smiling the entire time I played this track. This is one of the coolest, most creative, well conceptualized and executed ideas I've seen. And the fact that he did this in 24 hours is actually insane. I don't understand how that could possibly be possible, but it's possible, brothers. Here it is. We're looking at it. I tested all these tracks with my friend Big Country. I was also the best man in his wedding, just in case we're wondering. And we had so much fun playing this track. It was actually insane. It's super punishing. Do not fall over the edge. You will fall forever, but it's also flowy. The corners of the Hot Wheel track works. The big green thing works. Dude, it's fun. It's amazing. It's the most creative thing, hands down, that we saw. But at the end of the day, the track is very smooth. And this is what I was saying earlier, where some people kind of focused on making a more realistic motocross track like Kiwin. Some people focused on their challenge like Tour de Tilapia. And some people focused on creativity like Rubes here. The track is this is hands down the most creative thing we've seen, but the track in comparison to, say, Kiwin's falls short in a couple areas. However, I'm really curious to see how this will play out in the final scores, because I do feel the final two are pretty neck and neck. So let's jump over to see the final scores and award our winners, boys. Hey guys, postdoc here. I forgot to put this in the video because I'm the Dulcran. Both Rubes and Kiwin had to do a very similar, basically the same challenge, either a split lane, split start, something split on their track. In some photos in a little bit, you'll get to see both of those, but they both did do those challenges. Moving on, I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top here and give a little explanation on each track. Now, unfortunately, there has to be a last place, and that's gonna go to my guy Hen. And that's not because the track wasn't good, but when you're making your very first track ever, and in 24 hours, it is never going to be able to compete with someone like Kiwin or Rubes, who has literally probably thousands of hours in track making alone. But I have to say, Hen, bro, I'm so proud of you. You absolutely killed it. For a first track ever, it is so impressive. I tried to make a track. It was bad, okay? If we were doing a 1v1 on first tracks, you would have slammed me, all right? So don't feel proud of what you did. I'm so stoked for you. Next up, we have Cyanide. That track was super fun, super flowy, but again, it came down to attention to detail that some of these other guys above him really knocked out of the park. After that, we have Panda Go Room with Tour de Tilapia. I wish I could give you a first place prize for best name, because hands down, you smashed that one. The execution of the challenge was amazing, but you just got edged out a little bit on flow and overall feel. Coming in towards that middle place is King. And again, I think if King had a couple more days, this track would probably be one of the most flowy, if not the most flowy, in this challenge. But this is where King's gonna land for this one. Next up, we have kind of a sleeper here, and honestly, if I was just judging, I think I would put this one a little bit higher, but we had to take the 3 scores of our judges and combine them, and that is Callum's track. I think the reason it isn't higher for everyone else is it was simple. The track at the end of the day is just a motocross track, but it is very fun and flowy. Like I said, this is one of my highest rated tracks when it comes to flowy, but all of us combined felt like it was in that 5th spot. Now, I want to remind you guys that there's 150 possible points that these guys can earn. That said, the top 4 were separated by 9 points, okay? It was so close. These guys crushed it. Now, in 4th place, I'm gonna go with Cool Whip. This track is so fun, it's so flowy, and this is definitely gonna be a pub lobby favorite. He missed out on the podium by 1 point in the creativity section. And I cannot believe I'm saying that the castle track missed out because of creativity, but when Price did a full-on endurocross track, which nobody else did, with a working waterfall, that barely edged him out for the podium spot. Now, that leaves us with 2 tracks left. We have Rube's track and we have Kiwin's track. One of those tracks scored 132.5 points. The other track scored 133 points. That's right. These final 2 tracks were separated by a half point. And the winner of the 24-hour challenge is going to go to Kiwin, which means Rooms is going to come in a close second. Kiwin's track just felt like the most full and complete track that we got. Now, Rubes absolutely smashed him on creativity. I'm gonna be honest, Rubes got 10s across the board for creativity. It was the most creative thing I've ever seen, especially in a 24-hour challenge. It's crazy. But when it comes to a more complete, just overall best track, it was hard to compete with Kiwin. He absolutely nailed it. So for our category winners, for the most creative track, we have Rubes. For the most flowy track, we went with Kiwin. For the best looking track, we went with Kiwin, and the best overall track, like I said, was also Kiwin. Kiwin is gonna win a free set of gear provided by me, and Peanut Customs has sponsored this video and is giving a RGB number plate just like this to Kiwin. And actually, I'm gonna throw in something that all of these guys that participated are gonna get one of these as well. They don't know that yet, so it's pretty sick. A huge shout out to all the track creators that participated. You guys should be proud. This was so sick. Every single one of you guys killed it, and I cannot wait to see what you guys do tomorrow for the 72-hour video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.